Have you ever thought, is this it? You may be in a job that you trained for, spent thousands to qualify in, and it's not fulfilling you. I've always admired people that pivot their life. They change everything and then their life changes. Could that be you? Well, if you need a little bit of inspiration or a boost, or just a way to look for the love in a different direction, Gayle Berry is my guest this episode. Gayle is the founder of Blossom and Berry, a global baby massage teacher training program. We start with a new question. It's not a question that I'm going to use going forward. It was just me babbling. I was asking her what she was watching because I was mildly obsessed with a bear, and I'm still obsessed with the bear. Enjoy this conversation. What do you love watching?
What's in the world?
Yeah. What are you enjoying watching at the moment? Whether that might be a box set or
okay. Well, yeah. I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV for about 4 years.
Amazing. You must have so much more time.
Yeah, well, I gave up TV in COVID because actually probably is the time when I should have started watching TV, but the pattern pattern interrupt of COVID just meant that I had new routines, and I just stopped watching TV. So I occasionally watch something, maybe with my daughter from time to time. I love indie cinema, so I watch that all day long, and I really love going to the pictures. That's one of my favorite things to do on a Sunday. So yeah, I like to watch. I like live. I think I prefer live now over recorded. What I do watch a lot of is kind of geeky, nerdy videos about my subjects. I mean, that's my Netflix binge, is like infant mental health or spirituality, like quantum physics, things like that. So when I say I don't watch TV, like for example, I have a Gaia subscription and I'm deep in like alien mysteries and pyramids and that kind of thing. So, it depends as in traditional program viewing, not so much. But I think one of the things that's replaced my TV, which is quite funny, is because I think I haven't actually sat on my sofa for about a year, truly. My bottom has not actually been on my sofa, because every night I have a 2-hour bath, and in that bath I listen to a podcast, an audiobook, or I have something on, but I'm not required to actually look at the screen. So my bathtub has replaced my sofa, and I'm in the bath for about an hour and a half every night. So yeah, that's
must be so clean.
I do. I'm very relaxed. It's got nothing to do with cleanliness. It's because I'm just a mermaid, basically. And I have my magnesium salts in my bath, and that is my daily, non-negotiable ritual. I always do it. Even if I come in late at night and it's 10:30, I will still have a bath. I love it.
Really?
Yeah,
maybe I should have more baths. I mean, baths are like a once a week kind of thing for me. But yeah,
oh, really?
Yeah. No, but you've inspired me to bathe more.
Give up your sofa and get in your bathtub. That's my cry for the new age.
Bring it on! I love it. So one of the first questions that I've been asking people, which I've got so many lovely, beautiful answers from, is, who was the first person that taught you how to love?
That's easy. That would be Emily, my daughter. When I really felt like I had a love at first sight experience. In fact, to be honest, from the moment I knew I was pregnant, I just had this feeling that this was going to completely change my life. And it would be Emily, because she also taught me about patience and acceptance and trust and safety and co-creation and all of the things that love actually is, that isn't the kind of romantic idea of love, or love as in codependency, or I give you this and so therefore I expect this in return. She taught me about the pure joy of giving to another from a place of desire to nurture someone to their full capacity. So it would be Emily Berry, who is now almost 23. So
Do you think that without that experience, as you said, your life changed forever after having Emily? Is that when you decided to take things down the child development, that kind of
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
phase?
I was a project finance lawyer in the city and I was deeply unhappy and a completely different person. I had social anxiety, I had a blushing complex. I used to drag myself out of bed every morning thinking, there has got to be more to life than this. Like, how have I ended up here? And then Emily came along as a happy accident. And through, that initial like love with her and the fact that she was a very colicky, unsettled baby. So actually, it wasn't an easy, like, love was not easy, as in like the practical day to day care. She used to cry for like 7 to 8 hours a day. And it was really, really hard. But that's how I found baby massage, by going to a class because she was so colicky. And, I say this and people say, really, is this true? But I literally went into this class in the middle of Hackney. I'd got on a bus with this new baby and I didn't know anyone, walked into a room, strangers, sat down, knew nothing about baby massage, but I was so desperate by that point. When you try anything as a new mother, you're like, if someone says, chant 10 mantras or do a handstand outside at midnight, you'll do it. So I was like, fine, I'm going to go to this baby massage class. No one had heard of it. And by the time I'd left that class 60 minutes later, I was a completely new person. I completely trusted myself. I was like, no matter what happens, it's going to be okay. Like, I just need to just be here now with Emily and allow everything to just come as it is. And I was so profoundly affected that by the time I left, I decided I was going to give up being a project finance lawyer and train to be a baby massage teacher. Fast forward now to 2,000 teachers later, 5 global branches, millions of babies impacted. It was just that 1 hour. So that was a total sliding doors moment. Well, I don't actually believe there's a sliding doors moment. I believe that you are guided. Like, I was guided to that weird community centre in Hackney on that day for a reason. so yeah. So it's that was a little miracle, really.
That's amazing. I never underestimate the power of showing up, isn't it? Because that person that was running that session changed your life.
Absolutely.
And he or she was just doing her job.
Exactly. And I didn't even, because I was like a new mum with a baby, I just sort of came in like really dazed and confused and kind of left, sort of like, wow, what happened? But yeah, so that wherever that person is, let them know that they are the inspiration for everything that like has followed since. So yeah.
Amazing. Oh, that's beautiful. It's an amazing story. I did do some baby massage on Kitty, and she loved it. Yeah, we used to go to a class. I just remembered that in Windsor. What are your loves then? You've mentioned your 2-hour bath. That's obviously one of them. What are your loves?
Oh, I have many. I have many loves. Like, I feel like in devotion to love, really. Like, I've learned as I've got older and older, I've just realized that there is an opportunity to love everything and anything in every moment. And again, a lot of people think of love as in, oh, well, positive vibes only, or, it's all got to be, laughs and unicorns and rainbows. But it's really about loving whatever the experience is that's coming and accepting it as it is, and just allowing whatever that medicine is to teach you. So in recent years, I've really mellowed into surrender, into love, but in terms of practical things that really light up my soul and energize me, travel would be absolutely up there as my number one. I've done some wonderful travel since COVID. I'm very lucky. I'm very privileged. I mean, everything kind of I've created through my business has enabled me to live a life that I love, which is freedom-based, creativity-based, connection, relationship-based. So yeah, so my 3 kind of top loves are my children, number one, travel, and then dogs and puppies. But dogs and puppies in travel does not go at all. So I'm always the one that has a stray dog friend on holiday always, so that I can bridge the gap of the two.
Oh, that's amazing. Have you got dogs?
I have half a dog with my ex-husband, so we have like a share, and then I did have an amazing dog Coco, but she's passed away fairly recently. So yeah, but dogs are just they're just part of the family. If when I come back, I'm going to come back as a dog. I've definitely been a dog in a previous lifetime, like a big golden retriever. That's me for sure.
There's a dog shop where I live in Frome where they sell very lovely dog treats and things. And on in the window, there's a T-shirt that says "Dogs, not sprogs," which I quite like.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a whole thing, isn't it? Now, I mean, I think a lot of people are choosing to have animal families, not families. I mean,
Fur babies,
not children. Yeah, fur babies. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Like, how loving are you to yourself?
Well, much more now than I, have been in the past. I think when I was a teenager, I wasn't even really connected to my heart at all. Maybe not teen, actually, my early 20s, that was the roughest time between, say, 19 and 25. I literally was lost. I was disconnected from my heart, my intuition, everything. So that was probably the most challenging time of my life. And then I got pregnant accidentally with Emily, and then I went into this beautiful love bubble with my kids. Then I got divorced about 4 years ago, and that was really tough because family is one of my top values. And when I got married to my best friend. I was married for 23 years. I had no intention of getting divorced. Like commitment and family is like super important to me. And so that really was like a death. It was a death of a relationship. It was a death of my future self that I'd imagined. It was a death of my identity as a wife, which was very anchored in. I was super loving wife, still went on date nights with my husband and everything like that. So that I wouldn't say I was unloving to myself, but I was in a lot of pain. But then the last year or so, I have had a little bit of a real like little dark night of the soul. And from that place of darkness, I just learned to feel all of the feels, all of the things that I had been pushing away and suppressing. And it was actually through that process of experiencing pretty challenging darkness that I've now come through the other side with much more love for myself and compassion and empathy for others as well. Because in feeling my own pain, I'm now more able to hold space for other people. So that's the long answer. Is kind of it's been a journey. And like everybody, you have things that challenge you every single day. But then it's learning to invite them in and love those as well, because you can't, with life, you can't change what you're served, but you can choose in that moment to meet it with an open heart. That's what I would say. Like keeping your heart open to feel. It's not necessarily like, or you've got to love everything, because sometimes we want to like be angry. Sometimes we want to be, cry. So I think it's just keeping your heart open and meeting what's there that allows you to just keep breathing and expanding through different experiences.
Yeah. Yeah. I like what you said about it's so close, isn't it? Pain and love. And it's almost from what I've gone through over the last couple of years, I know love completely differently now because I've experienced horrendous pain. And it's like, oh, the thing is, you're not going to get this key without that key. It's like they're so married together, and it's something that you just can't really describe. But it, as you said, all the feels, it's all connected. And to really sit in pain gives you this knowing and understanding and enables you to sit in it with others.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the duality of like human beings is, the opposite side of the coin of pain is pleasure. when you've experienced pleasure, you understand what pain is. If you love fully with your heart, then loss can be unbearable. So the more we step into one, the more the other side of the coin is also activated. And Ram Dass is one of my big teachers. I paraphrase him, but he says, the greatest act of love is keeping your heart open in the face of suffering and not closing down and not going, why is this happening to me, or being angry at the world or angry at others, just accepting that for whatever reason, this is an experience from us to grow through. And there's no book you can read on that. It's an embodied philosophy that takes a lot of courage. That's a lot of courage to keep your heart open, because it's easier to close down.
It is. I explain it to people when I'm coaching people about leaning in. So how can you lean as much as you want to armor up, and as much as you want to protect yourself and protect your heart, you've got to even open it even more. And
absolutely.
It takes bravery, courage, and trust.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're all coming from different places as well. And our capacity to, experience love and loss and stress and all of those things and have a regulated nervous system is so different from person to person. And it's really based on our own childhood experiences. And so, I think it's really important not to judge others around the way that we respond and react to different situations, because some people have a greater capacity to move through big emotions, and some people, really activated by tiny things. But that's just who we are, and there's a beauty in that. There's a beauty in that acceptance.
Yeah, no, I think there's a big thing about judgment, and a big thing around everyone sees the world in different ways. And it's so easy to go, you should have done this, and you should be and you should know what I'm thinking. And that's sometimes in a relationship. It is just having that ability to just go, that's all your capacity, and realizing, I think one of the things that people talk to me about is that I'm a con man's dream, because I think everyone is inherently good. So everyone in my sort of mind is coming at the good intentions, and that serves me, and I'm happy for that to be my reality. But I think sometimes it's hard to judge people, and we do judge people.
That's a reflection of who you are. It's like how you perceive the world is how you perceive yourself. So you believe that you are a good, grounded, honest, empathetic person. So therefore, that's how you meet people. And I think that's the thing, is that we are mirrors. When we experience an emotion, it can be because we're actually holding that within ourselves, and we're not giving ourselves that healing. But I think, in recent months, I've been studying quite a lot about Tantra, and that's the path of love. So that's the yogic tradition around love is the center of everything. And really the philosophy of that is to just accept everything exactly as it is. We can act for what we believe in, but it's without the idea that something's going to happen as a result of that. So we act from a place of love, and we are of service of love. So it doesn't mean sitting around and doing nothing. If you're passionate about something, act with it, but don't expect the world to respond back to you in a certain way, because at the end of the day, it's just always between you and you. And that's why the relationship you have with yourself, making yourself happy, believing in yourself, activating your passion, purpose and gifts, is the only thing that really makes a difference in the world, because that's the one thing you can control, and everything else is a kind of interconnected chaos, to be honest, that occasionally lines up to create magic and miracles. But that's very much depending on what your magnetism and your vibration that you're holding around that. So
it's that non-attachment, isn't it?
It is, and it's the hard.
Yeah. She says quite easily, it's just non-attachment.
Yeah, that little thing.
Yeah.
With that, like in 1982, yeah. I mean, it's oh god, it's like in everything, and it's because it's the attachment in essence is safety, and I mean, so much of it also comes to when we're babies as well, like how safe we feel within ourselves. ourselves. Like really, the whole secret to life, which I've learned through working with babies, really, is having a regulated nervous system. If you have a regulated nervous system, then when things come your way, you're able to experience that, process it, and move through. And so many of us really have dysregulated nervous systems for so many different reasons. And it can be childhood, it can be lifestyle, it can be external, it can be exposure to the media or what's going, and it's just really our nervous systems are running the show, and we're kind of in the background trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah, there's a lot of more conversation around nervous system at the moment, isn't it? And the vagus vein and the impact of what that has on the body. That is a learning for me. I think that will be my next real sort of geeky moment, as with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to geek out to the nervous system.
You can geek out for a very long time, and I would suggest like Gabor Mate is like the guy to go to that for sure. But the great thing about nervous system regulation and mood, energetics and love is that it really is about choosing somatic experiences. So like in-body experiences that you love. So it's singing, it's not like a hard thing. It's just singing in the shower, singing in the car, making a cup of tea and making a song up about singing. Well, this is the kind of thing I do anyway. You've got pets, sing songs to your pets, like any kind of singing, amazing, tones your vagus nerve, like gets all your feel good hormones going. Dancing, movement, being out in nature, breathing, conversation, eye gazing, all of these things, they are accessible to us. We've just forgotten. And what we're doing a lot of is intellectualizing how to make ourselves better, how to fix ourselves. And it's in that process that we're just more in the mind. And after a while, you just know that there's no more mind stuff that you can ever actually absorb. You have to get into the body and you have to feel and you have to release and you have to move the energy around. So
yeah, the other day I was feeling quite a lot of grief in my body. So I put the most banging of house track on because I love house music. I love Ibiza. And I just rocked out in the living room and just shook my body, and I felt so much better. It's magic. It is magic.
Absolutely. And that's what animals do. When you see animals when they run away and they've been stressed out, you look at dogs when they're stressed, they shake it off. And also sometimes, like when you do feel sad, is actually to go feel sad, like you go towards the experience. So actually, something that I do now, which I wouldn't have done say a year ago, is when I feel sad, I go more into sadness. So then I put on sad song, like I've got a sad song tracks, and then I'll just sit and get sadder and sadder and sadder until the sadness has got to the peak of sadness, and then there is no more sadness there's no more tears to cry, or there's no place to go, and then you're like, oh, so I wasn't actually sad, I was experiencing sadness. And that's a real key learning, like for me. And it's the same with happiness. When you're happy, it doesn't mean that you're happy 100%. It just means you're experiencing happiness at that moment. So it allows you to be a lot more, appreciative of it all, really, because it's all transient.
You're a receiver, a vessel, a conduit of all of that energy, and it just flows through you. And that's in essence what happens when I speak on stage. I'll have a little chat with the universe before I go on, and I just say, use me. And I just and I'm just this vessel for all the energy to come through. It's much easier because I'll get nervous. Georgina will get nervous. My little ego will be like, love me. But if I just say, universe, I need your help, surrender. Yeah, rocks up, does a blinder of a job, and then it's done, So I love that. So this is gold. There's so much stuff. So the podcast is called Love Shortage. Where in the world do you think there is a love shortage?
Well, I would have to say right now, 100%, like I've been a real advocate on what's happening in the Middle East, particularly, for all the families that have been affected, whether they've been Israeli or Palestinian, regardless of the history and politics, which is extremely complicated, just the mere suffering that has been happening in Gaza, that has been heartbreaking for me. And as an advocate for babies and families and children, it's been particularly difficult. So taking action, raising money, emailing my MP, sharing stories, amplifying voices, holding space for people who are really being activists right now and protesting, and all of those things, that has really hit home to me, because in my lifetime, this is probably like the biggest time that I've ever witnessed suffering to this degree, from a place of kind of feeling a bit helplessness and trying to come back into my power. So right now, that is really where I'm sending all my love, all my prayers, all my energy, my daily attention, funds, everything. But I think that there is no shortage of love, because love is infinite and love is available to us all, because I actually believe that we are love. I think that when you look at nature to me is just the manifestation of love, because everything lives in peace and harmony, and an interconnected system where everything benefits from everything else. From when the leaves fall off the tree, they go to the ground that fertilizes the soil, that then creates new life for other plants and animals and everything like that. So everything's interconnected. So to me, love is peace. It's that sense of existing, knowing that we're here for a very short period of time, and so whatever opportunity there is to give and receive love, just to open to that. And there is, the other thing is, there is no hierarchy of love, because a lot of people initially, especially around what's happening in the Middle East, were like, I feel shamed because I'm not doing anything, but I haven't got the capacity. And then other people were being really activists and then being called out for taking sides. But I think there's no hierarchy of love. If in any situation when you're witnessing something, if you have to love yourself first, love yourself first. If you have a greater capacity to offer something, it could be having a conversation with someone. It could be reading a book. It could be, going out and hugging your kids because you are safe and you understand that that's a privilege in life. So I think it's really important, again, when there is situations where there's a love shortage, to not judge others, just to go within and say, what have I got that I can share? What have I got that I need to give to myself first, so I have a capacity to do something else for somebody else? And I think that's really important.
Yeah. Like if you think of what love is the opposite is judgment, really, isn't it?
Yes.
And you can't explore one without the other.
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, I don't feel like I think the polarization, this is such a polarizing situation for lots of people in many ways, that the polarization just creates more division, and division is not unity, and unity is love. Mm-hmm. So, it's nuanced, it's complicated. I'm not an expert. This is just coming from my personal experience of, okay, this is my capacity. This is what's available to me. What can I do for myself and others that brings more peace to this situation? And that's all. And what everybody else is doing, that is for them. That's their manifestation of love or whatever it is in whatever way. So yeah, it's complicated, but war is a definite love. There's a definite shortage of love in any conflict or war. That's lack of love, really, and brought into reality, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think what I'm hearing you're saying is it's about understanding that, yes, you are an individual, but you are also connected. So your actions, your ability to connect with others can make an impact in some. So the trick is to not be an individual. The trick is to connect, really, in regards to your voice and being heard and creating that unity. And I think whenever anyone is less othered and we have that separation, that's when so many things can happen in regards to not understanding and communicating and connecting, and then you get paranoid, and there's so much stuff that happens when we don't connect. And love is connection.
It is 100%. And, like I say, there is no hierarchy of love, like it's this is kind of going back to what you said to me before, which actually I'd never thought about. It's like that lady that invited me into her space, she was actually my love activator. So, everybody is doing something for somebody. Like this podcast now, someone who's listening to this is the exact medicine that they need right now for somebody else. They may never find it. It doesn't matter, because both of us made a conscious decision today to come together to share our experiences of love in the hope that perhaps it reaches or connects or opens someone's heart or activates something. And that's all that we can ever do as humans, whether we're doing it through, our voice, through art, through reading, through, smiling on the street, through taking your dog for a walk, gardening, whatever it is. That's what I mean. Like it doesn't have to be this big thing where you said, I'm this savior and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and look at me, like that's just ego. It's the quiet, invisible things that are going on all of the time that is keeping us all sane and keeping us all together, actually. So yeah.
I think that is a beautiful way to end. I do have other questions, but like that encapsulates everything that we've been talking about today. It's the small things, the small little tiny things that we can introduce love into our lives and love to others. And love to that woman that run that baby massage session.
Yeah, wherever you are.
Yeah.
Where were you? It was 2001 in Hackney. If you're listening,
yes.
And baby massage class, come see me, because you have a prize. I give you a prize because thank you. Without you, I wouldn't be here now. And that's such a wonderful, wonderful way to think about it. Yeah.
Totally. And it's a bit like you need to get onto This Is Your Life so they could hunt her down.
Oh God, bring back This Is Your Life.
I used to love This Is Your Life.
There's got to be some, like, how everything just always comes back. Somebody has got to do that. That was
it was like a eulogy, really. It was like a eulogy of someone. So it was sort of saying, this is your life and you've done this, but you're still alive.
Exactly. Then you've got you got a book, didn't you, of your life? And in some cases you were quite young. It was a weird concept. I mean, you have to be a certain age as well to actually even understand what we're talking about. You have to be a bit of a child of the TV 80s to know anything about this. But anyone that is sort of born in like late 80s, look up This Is Your Life. It'll be on YouTube. Gayle, thank you so much for today. I've learned so much. I feel so inspired. I'm going to bath more. I'm going to ditch my TV. No, it's been really a wonderful conversation. And I just know that someone is going to take this as medicine, as you said. So thank you so, so much. It was amazing. Really, really appreciate it. I really wanted the theme tune to end with, do you know the This Is Your Life theme tune? If you're not from the 80s or even the 70s, I'm so sorry for all of This Is Your Life references. I never thought that This Is Your Life would end up on Love Shortage, but anything can happen. So if you'd like to give me any feedback about this episode, I'm on Georgina at georginajones.com. That's it for another episode. It's time to press that follow button if you haven't done it. Go on, you can do it. Oh, love you. Thank you. And I will speak to you very soon. Until then, share the love. Bye.